Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an exciting day for us at Sapient Gurgaon. We have an interesting discussion starting at 11 a.m. on the topic, how leading teams help me discover aspects of myself.
I am Suparna and I'm working as a manager, program management with Sapient Nitro.
I'm Karthik Raman. I'm working as a business analyst with Sapient Global Markets.
My name is Sumit Sharma. I'm a vice president with Sapient. I've been with Sapient for 17 years now.
I'm Manika Avasthi and I'm a director in people success.
I'm Anand Bhaskar. I'm the people success lead for Sapient in India.
I'm Rajdeep Endo. I'm the managing director of Sapient India.
So the story of Talent Next started last year. We wanted India to be a source of talent, creative, leadership and technical. We wanted this to be a great place, a place where people build careers. So in terms of HR, our priority last year was really a shift in leadership mindset. And that's when we decided we need to take this beyond. How do we really reach the masses? And we said, let's flip the entire thing around, right? Which is really, we're going to democratize learning, for our people. We are not going to make choices for them. They are going to make choices for themselves, right? So it's almost like saying that, it's a supermarket concept. We will do a conclave which is going to be spread over all days in a particular week where we will give people the different development experiences from those frameworks. It is for all, it is for everybody, and let people really make that choice.
What we're trying to do through the Talent Next initiative is to elevate the talent mindset, A, in the leadership, and B, also in the people. The leadership needs to look at talent in a particular lens, and the talent themselves, that is the people themselves, need to understand that they have a very important role to play in the strategy of the business. The whole spirit behind this is to inspire people to actually focus on their development, so that if they were to develop and they were to get more competitive and competent, they are going to end up furthering the goals of the organization or even their personal goals. Either way, I think their personal goals, if tied to those goals of the organization, is going to enable the organization goals.
No organization can grow its revenues faster than its ability to grow its people. That's one of my core beliefs when I look at people development, especially given the tremendous change that's happening around us in our business context.
So we've really focused on 3 or 4 swim lanes. We've got self-discovery, which is really about self-awareness. So helping people understand their strengths, their development areas, their insights.
So I've registered myself for a session in self-discovery. Through that session, I'll be able to better understand what I am capable of and also understand how others perceive me, how others see the work that I do, and that I think will help me explore myself.
Look at your scores and we'll debrief on those 5 different conflict resolution styles. And the idea would be to really, for you to go back and see which is your dominant style, which is the one that you use the most. So Karthik, what is your top style that is coming out?
So it's coming out as collaborating.
So that's your top?
Yes.
And which style is it that you're not using at all?
So I think avoiding and withdrawing both.
Avoiding and withdrawing. Okay.
The first part of the session, the facilitator helped me analyze what my natural style is towards conflicting situations. The second part, she kind of introduced me more into what other styles people adopt, their pros and cons. And this should help me, react better and take a better stance then.
We've got a separate track which is focused on coaching, and this is really niche, where we've tied up with 65 certified coaches, in the industry to come in and meet with our people. It's going to be 1 hour of a coaching development experience. And the objective is to help people understand the power of coaching for themselves, how a conversation can really help an individual discover insights for himself or herself.
I'm looking for some help on how to influence people in leadership. So one of the main aspects of leadership is to interact with a lot of people and influence them and convince them. And I would like to understand what attributes goes into influencing people and inculcate the same attributes within myself if needed.
Understanding somebody else from their interests, from their drivers, and then relating to that when you're trying to influence somebody. Let's say you have an initiative you want to advance and you realize their support is critical, but you need to understand how will it further their interest. Influencing also, interestingly, is a two-way street. Almost think of it as to what are you doing to them to advance their interests.
My experience with the session was insightful and it gave me a direction on how to interact with people. And also it gave me pointers to build more self-trust and be more clear about my thoughts when I'm interacting with people.
The third swim lane is around career counseling, right, where we've helped people tied up with Sapient leaders, right, and people within Sapient, which is really helping and getting guidance on their own careers, right. bunch of things. It can be around, where am I in my career, where do I want to go, how do I want to switch my domain, but making sure that there is some person who they can speak to around their own career development.
I'm committing about 14-15 hours of my time over the next 3 days. I've had 4 odd discussions with people. I am drawing a lot of benefit from this. I'm realizing how confusing it can be, especially for young minds in their early formative years. People do need to understand how to utilize these frameworks that we've developed over time, for personal career growth.
The areas that don't excite you, I think you should at least learn the basics of those areas.
So that
right? That it doesn't become an impediment.
Exactly.
I feel I've lit a new light bulb in their mind, right? And that is the only thing that I'm trying to achieve from these sessions.
We're also doing a lot of panel discussions as a part of this track, right, on very important Sapient topics, which really is relevant to the needs of people. How do I build a career at Sapient? How do I grow at Sapient? All of these questions are something that is relevant, that people keep hearing, that we want to make sure that people get an opportunity to learn and from others' experiences as well.
When you're first presented with a challenge, your orientation might be to try to control the situation, be very directive. A lot of that might be a reaction to not having experience, and you move and shift to a place of what I would call enablement, which is really around helping people succeed, not forcing yourself on those people to get to the outcomes that you think they ought to achieve.
You think you're a leader or you think you're a manager of a large group of people, but in reality, all you have is influence. Because that's the only thing that you can leverage with your team if you want your team also to be independent thinkers. It's a joke when people tell you that somebody reports to you. They don't. It doesn't mean anything. Not unless you're running a manufacturing plant and it's a 9-to-5 job and your main asset is a machine and not people. Right? Our assets are people. We want people to think, and that's how scale happens.
It was good to know what challenges, what struggles people who have kind of traversed the journey at Sapient, people who've been with Sapient for like 10 years, 15 years, what challenges they faced, getting to learn from their lessons. It was a very inspiring session for me.
But there were some very powerful new thoughts that came my way. A great example was when somebody asked a question around how do you look at every person as an individual, and it helped me connect the thoughts, saying we do that with our clients. We look at each one of them as a unique individual. Why would we not do that, with our people?
We've got a bunch of leadership confessions, right? And we've got a great, fantastic commitment from our Sapient leaders to come and share their own stories, their own career graphs with people, their mistakes, their failures. How did they learn?
I personally have been tremendously inspired being in sessions, doing leadership confessions, panel discussions, career coaching, counseling sessions, and I've learned a lot myself.
The reality is that I didn't know how to work with other people for a very long time in my career. So Sudhi called me, said, hey, and got some feedback for you. Yep. He said, I don't think you're a good project manager. I thought this guy was mad. Then I thought, this can't be true. Then I thought, this is a complete bullshit place. I'm going to get out of here as soon as possible. I was just not willing to accept a growth area that was glaringly obvious to other people that I was just not seeing. No one of us is smarter than all of us. It's a really simple thing to realize, but to deeply feel it inside is something else. It took me, maybe 10 years into my career to truly understand that.
There's a track called Leadership Confessions, where you talk about where you've had a failing or an issue, and I think it's been amazing, the energy and the demand for those sessions, but I think being able to just talk to different people and different leaders across the company and say, hey, what did you struggle with? Yeah. Right? What did you learn? Because failure is necessary. Nobody got anywhere in life without failing. Right? Those small interactions can be tremendously helpful to people because they just don't have the perspective.
It was a great conversation, there were great tips, and it was a good start of the day.
So it's a great opportunity to learn a story from a leader, hear about some of their failures, some of their success, what's worked, what's not worked.
So those are the different swim lanes that we have as a part of the conclave. I truly believe that the fire has been lit. The fact that we're asking people to make the choices has been phenomenal. The inspiration, the passion is coming from within.
The fraternity responded so positively to this entire initiative, and the fact is that we have more than 100 partners who are coming from the fraternity and volunteering time to actually support this initiative, I think has been tremendously humbling.
Talent Conclave is really game changing. You think about the classical way that people have been developed, and it's very, classroom training, there's a plan, there's a checklist about a role. Inverting it where you're actually creating a marketplace where people can direct their career development, direct their learnings, look at self-introspection, I think is a complete change in paradigm shift.
We like to think that talent is central to the success of the brand in India, and hence we are looking at a very strategic long-term development of it. So that's our investment in our own people.
I want to take the learnings from here and take them to the rest of APAC.
Fantastic. Really excited about what I think this is going to mean for us going forward.
It's been so successful, it's so large.
Each person is the hero in this entire conversation.
Very excited about this.
I'm really enjoying it, a lot of learning, a lot of information.
It gives me an opportunity to unleash my potential.
It makes people a lot more engaged.
Everybody's starting to look forward to a great career with Sapient.
Great energy, great buzz. Everywhere we go, people are asking for more. I couldn't have expected anything better.